Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to convert text to speech in Godot game engine for iOS device. So let's get started. As usual, you would require a macOS and you would require Xcode, which should be installed from the Apple App Store, which is free as well. Then all I have done is that I have just created one simple folder named Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that at the end of this project, at the end of this tutorial, there will be 3 different projects created. That's why just for organization's sake I have created one parent folder. Also, this is the documentation based on which I have just created one cheat sheet. Like all these things are present in the inside the documentation as well, so you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, let's get started. So as usual, just open Xcode, click on file, new, package, select multi-platform, select library, click next. Then inside the Godot folder, you can name this library whatever you feel like, but I will just name it as my library. But the naming is very important because this name will be used in a lot other places as well. So if you are doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I am doing. So I'll just click on create. Once that is done, we have to copy this bit of code. Again, this is present in the documentation as well. So if you just scroll down here, you can see they tell us to create a package. So we have already done this. Then we have to add this dependency after the products array. So inside package.swift, we just have to paste this bit of code and just do command s, so it will automatically download the dependency for us using Swift package manager. Once that is done, we have to add this platform iOS version 17. So here they have given it for macOS, but we require it for iOS. Now I have kept the minimum version as 17 because I was facing issues compiling Swift Godot for lower version of iOS. Then we have to add this type dynamic as well. Again, I'll just copy this. Here you can see after library name we have to add this, so I'll just paste it over here. Then the last thing is we have to add this bit of code as well, so I'll just copy this. Again, this is present in the documentation as you can see over here after target name. So again, I'll just add a comma and I'll paste this bit of code. I'll just improve the indentation a bit. Then at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot does not support Swift version 6, so I will change this particular version to 5.10. Okay, then here we'll go to this particular file, my library. Now I will cheat a little bit. I'll just copy the code which I have already written so that I don't have to do it again and again. Copy this and I'll paste it over here. So here we are importing UIKit, Swift Godot and AV Foundation for playing the audio. Then here this is boilerplate code which you have to write for using Swift Godot. Again, this should be your own library name. Then here we have created one class. We have annotated with @Godot so that this class can be used from GD script. And here we have created one signal as well. Again, I'm not really using this signal because it doesn't make a sense in this case, but I'm just showing it to you in case if you want to send some data back to Godot side, but for now I can just comment this out. Okay, then here we create this AV speech synthesizer, and here we have created a method which will accept some text in string format, and then we create just an AV speech utterance. Then here we create an AV speech synthesized voice. I think you can play around with this language. I'm not really sure what all different language it supports, but currently I've just played around with English. And here we just do synthesizer.speech utterance. There are other properties to synthesizer as well. I think something related to how high or low the voice should be, but yeah, I want to keep this thing simple. So yeah, if you want, you can check the documentation on what all things, different things are present. Okay, then you just have to open terminal. Okay, sorry, before that, what I will do is I will just open this entire Godot folder which I have created inside VS Code, because we need to create a build.sh file. I'll just paste my cheat sheet as well over here. Now you can create this build.sh file from Xcode as well. I'm just more comfortable doing it from VS Code, that's why. So just open my library, and here I'll just create one file called build.sh. Okay, and then I'll just scroll down. I'll copy this particular line and I'll just paste it over here. So from this particular URL we just have to copy the code. So I'll just copy everything and I'll just paste it inside this build.sh file. Now we have to make few changes. So first change which we have to make is here it should be my library. So I'll just change it to my library because this was our library name. And the other thing is we have to add this skip macro validation backward slash as well. So again I'll come over here and I'll paste it over here. Make sure there are no extra spaces. Then I'll just close this. Again I'll open our terminal and I will cd to our library which we have created. So I'll just drag and drop this. Okay, I'll clear everything out, and inside this library we first have to run this command. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here, and then we need to run this command. Now I am not planning to deploy this to Apple App Store, so I am fine with generating the debug framework, but if you want you can generate the release framework by just replacing the word debug with release. So for now I'll just paste this over here, and now let's just wait for this to finish because this will again take a bit of time. In the meantime what we can do is we can just open Godot game engine. At the time of recording this tutorial I am using Godot 4.3.0, but you can use higher version of Godot as well. I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such. I'll just click on create. I'll just browse to the folder, Godot folder. I'll select the current folder. I'll just name the project as my Godot project, and I'll click on create and edit. Then I'll just click on project, export, add iOS. I'll click on fix import. So here firstly you will have to add this App Store team ID. So you can get your App Store team ID by going to this particular URL. It will guide you how to get your App Store team ID. I won't go into that, but I'll enter my App Store team ID later on, but you have to make sure you enter your App Store team ID, otherwise you won't be able to export your project. Then scroll down. Inside bundle identifier typically it is com dot your company name dot your app name. So I'll just give it something for random for now. Then here I'll just create one 2D scene, and inside that I will just create one button, because on click of the button we will just I like ask the text to speech conversion, right? So I don't know, convert. I'll just click on save command as save it. I will also run this so that my current scene is selected, root scene I mean, and once that is selected I will attach one script to this as well. Then I will just go to our button and I will add one press signal to this as well. Okay, then again I'll just cheat a little bit. I already have the code for this as well, so I'll just copy it from that. So firstly I'll create this particular variable. I'll just paste it over here. So this is a variable called my library. Then here we just instantiate that particular variable as well inside the ready function again. So I'll just paste it over here. Again this should be your own library name as well as this should be your own library name. Then once it is initialized we just call the change text to speech method, which we have defined it on the native iOS side, and here you can just enter whatever text you feel like. So I'll just expand this. So yeah, something like this. Then what you will have to do is you will have to go to your Godot game project. We need to create one bin folder. I'll just right click, create one bin folder over here. Now inside this we need to create a file, so I will just use VS Code for it. If you are comfortable using Godot game engine or file explorer you can do that as well. And inside here you can see this is the bin folder which we just created. Inside it we have to create a file name, whatever is your library iOS library file name, followed by the word, followed by the extension .gd extension. So something like this. Now if I try to open this file from Godot game engine, I'm not able to open it, at least in Godot 4.3.0. That's why I'm using VS Code. So inside this particular file we have to write this bit of code. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, again instead of debug you can replace it with release if you are generating release framework. Okay, let me just quickly check if I have named it correctly. Okay, I've named it correctly. Okay, Then if you come to our terminal, here also you can see it has finished generating the frameworks for us. So I will just go to the iOS folder of which should be present inside your library. So bin iOS, and I'll just copy these two dot framework folders. I'll go back to our Godot project. I'll go to bin and I'll just paste it over here. Then I will create one more folder. You can name this whatever you feel like. I'll name it as iOS, because once you export the project from Godot game engine, it will create lots of folders. Again, for project organization purpose, I have created this empty folder. So go back to Godot game engine. Okay, so inside Godot game engine, just go to, make sure you save everything by using command S or control S. Then go to project, export, export project, go to the iOS folder, select that and click on save. Now again this will take a bit of time, so just be patient. Once this is done, I'll come back again. Okay guys, so I have the export was successful. Then you can just go to the iOS folder over here and double click on this .xcode proj file. It will open it for you in Xcode, and then you can just click on this button to run it on a real device. You will have to run it on a real device. This will not work on a simulator. Just give me a second, I'll just mirror my device. Okay, so I think it lost the connection, so let me run it again. I think this might again take a little bit of time, so once the output is ready, I'll come back and show you guys the output. Okay guys, so here is the output. Unfortunately, I can't make you guys hear the output because I'm mirroring my device, and this Mac, I'm using the same software to mirror my device. Let me just try if this works. So I'll just press the button. I don't think you guys can hear me after it. If this works, then you won't be able to hear my voice. So yeah.
Hello world, this is Coding with Nobody.
So hopefully you were able to hear it. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I was able to hear it. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.